Last orders at the bar!
A night in with Mauler and the drinker, getting trashed with the web screen thinkers. A cheap night cause I'm feeling kinda thrifty, got a 10-pack of beers and a bottle of whiskey. Hop off the cork, have a glass of wine. I feel safe, I'll be fine. Trouble walking in a straight line, but pour me a Pinot Noir. It's open bar with our hosts, Mauler and the critical drinker.
All right there, everyone. This is becoming quite the habit, isn't it, Mauler, doing these super chat catch-ups?
It sure is, drinker.
Yeah, I just can't wait to get started on this.
Oh, yeah.
No, well, hello, everyone who's watching this recording. We just last night we had to do Open Bar 147 because we missed out on it the week we were supposed to do it, just because I was, away seeing Mauler's short film get made, and that put us back a little bit. But now here we are, finally catching up on the most recent Open Bar. So we're gonna do our best to answer your questions right here and right now. So I've got them all teed up and ready to go. Shall I hit you with the first one, Mauler?
You saying that reminded me. Do you ever watch Celebrity Deathmatch?
Yeah, occasionally.
Right here, right now on Celebrity Deathmatch. That's what you just reminded me of.
Oh, isn't that nice?
It's a fun show.
Well, I got a question for you, actually. This one comes from David Gannon. He says, Mauler, what are your thoughts on the Buffy reboot bringing back everyone who died on the show when Pedro Pascal died after hitting it off with Buffy at college, grabbed by vampires?
I think I covered it in a bit of depth in the recent Real BBC. I'm not sure which one exactly, but yeah, if you'd heard me talk about Buffy extensively before this announcement, I would have said I'm not a huge fan of Sarah Michelle Gellar's input or analysis on Buffy. She's a fantastic actress at her best, and Buffy wouldn't have been Buffy without her. But she says some wacky things, including but not limited to, like, season 6 of Buffy probably shouldn't have been a thing, even though it's, like, as far as I'm concerned, the best season, does the most to try and, like, I think she's at her best as a character in that season. She has the most, like, challenges and most growth and most difficulties. It's, like, the most endearing and engaging she is, because almost everyone who watches the show, Buffy isn't their favorite character. It's always someone else, be it Giles, Spike, etc. But this is all downstream of the fact then that I don't really like the idea that she's in full control, and the fact that she's already said really cringeworthy things, including but not limited to everyone who's died, we're going to try and bring him back. It's like that. What the fuck are you talking about?
Just what everyone wants, eh? Completely undoing all the dramatic payoffs of the past.
Unfortunately, Buffy is particularly poised to suffer from this as a story, because I was just thinking, like, spoilers, but it's a pretty old show, so it should be fine. But a lot of the people who died in the show had pretty meaningful deaths, but people are critical of them. So, for example, The Body, for anyone who knows what I'm talking about, that episode, it's like, I could
Buffy's mom dies, man.
It's so sad. Like, I think she deserved more time on the show. Let's bring it back. And then Tara, the whole, like, bury a gaze thing, that was, like, controversial as hell when it happened. It shouldn't be. I fucking hate that trope is, like, good enough criticism to the one I always go to, because it's just the perfect example, is Eric Kripke saying he couldn't kill Maeve in The Boys because she's gay, and that's burying gays, can't do that. So she miraculously survives.
I mean, Eric Kripke's retarded though, so I mean,
absolutely. I'm just saying that is a logic that people use, and that is the logic that will likely bring Tara back to life, and they're going to bring fucking everybody gradually back. It's going to be like, we can fix it. We can make it better. The mistakes of the past, guys, we're going to undo it. And it's going to be like, holy shit, they're going to deal so much damage, which is already expected. But the answer to the question is, I am very unhappy with all of it, and it's going to make me very upset.
I just really don't want to see all these actors come back to it after, like, 20 years as well. Everyone's going to look old as fuck, and just, like, they should have moved on by now.
I mean, a lot of the actors don't have anything else, so they're like, yes, please. It's like,
something tells me Xander won't be coming back, though.
No.
Scotty NCC says, Hail panel, return of the rarely seen but often mocked floppy-haired drinker. What are you talking about? Nobody mocks my hair, not on my stream. You'd be happy to know, like, yeah, my hair's shorter now. I had a haircut. You can't see it right now. Just picture my avatar right there. You can see it. It's kind of like that now. So it'll look high and tight for the next open bar. Will we ever see the TNG happy hours, especially now that Muller is a Trekkie? Rewatched them recently and even appreciated the flawed ones. So this is the next generation Star Trek movies. I'd be up for watching them. We actually need to decide on what we're going to do next for our watch through because we completed Firefly.
I think the Firefly thing ended really conveniently because it was on the cusp of us becoming extremely busy, like even more so than usual, with all the different short film stuff and some other things. The project I'm currently working on, I've gone like crazy significantly on in the past, I don't know, month. So.
And trust me, he has, because I have to fucking listen to it every time we do one of these. I
must
spends about an hour.
myself.
He's got bar charts and graphs and like spreadsheets of the things that he's
Every
done.
person I have ever showed the progress is like, why does it look all like this? It's like, because it's enormous. Like, it's unruly. It's a difficult thing to keep track of, but it'll all be worth it.
I think the reaction when you actually release this, it's going to be the same reaction I had when I saw the Alpha's dong in 28 years later. It's a combination of like being impressed and slightly terrified.
Like, why? Because it's necessary. But yeah, I would say once that project is done is when I would be willing to entertain the next thing that we do, whatever it might be. I think we've had a few ideas, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been throwing around some stuff, and I think that's, as you say, it ended at a good time, and it allows us to focus on some other stuff. And then when we've got a quieter schedule, we can come back to this and get our teeth into something else. But at least we haven't left it half done or anything, so that's a nice thought. Snex says, weird how Riri was given grants to build advanced Iron Man suits, but Sam can't get a loan for his boat.
That will forever be so fucking stupid.
Starbucks Meg, can we talk about the scene in the elevator where it was a test to show her brilliant technical skills, but instead she just uses brute force? Yeah, that was that's pretty funny.
Yeah, isn't there? She breaks something, and one was like, "Oh, I wouldn't have thought of that." And it's like, yeah, no one would, because what she just didn't even look possible. She like breaks off the handle or whatever.
Yeah, she does that. She breaks like a piece of glass to access like a
that's a bit
panel.
More possible, but like the handrail or whatever it is, it's like, do you know how strong you'd have to be to rip that off?
Yeah, see if you can get one end of it off, or if it's loose or something, then just like loose. How long it is, you can sort of bend it, and it probably would put a lot of force on the other end. So yeah, I could sort of buy that you could snap that off, but man, you probably have to be a big burly chap to do it, and she ain't.
Well, it's just, as this super chat is presumably pointing out, it's like, isn't that the opposite of what you guys want to achieve? Like, why do you want to show that, oh, she brute forced it? It's like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, the smarter way to resolve this would have been, like, you give her... I guess this is what they were trying to do. It's like she's given a problem to solve, and she chooses an unconventional solution. Demonstrates her outside-the-box thinking. But, like, her unconventional solution is just fucking brute strength, really, and just being dumb. Yeah, and that's not really what you want from her as a co-criminal on your little enterprise.
I'd say so.
Shadowhawk says, Hail Drinker, Mauler, and Panel. I guess this got lost in the last open bar, so I'll just ask again. Has anyone seen that they are remaking Anaconda with Paul Rudd and Jack Black? It drops this Christmas. Fuck. You're never going to top Jon Voight. And Jennifer
get Jon Voight
Lopez
back as the snake.
I still love that scene, like when she's, I don't know, she's like washing her hair or something, and the camera just cuts to him just giving her straight up the creepiest look that any human has given another one.
Jon Voight's been old for like 40 years. It's crazy.
Yeah. He just never dies. I mean,
I hope he doesn't. Make 10 more films. Go ahead.
No, yeah, so how old is he?
Probably old now.
86. So yeah, he has been old for a long time.
Yeah. Well, I guess, he looked 60 when he was like 50, 40, and 30. It's the point I was making, you know.
Some people just kind of have old faces. I think
They
I
really
referenced
do.
Max von Sydow before, where it's just
Yeah.
like that fucking dude was old for his entire life. Bada bing, bada bang says, I watched F1 today. I'm a fan of Formula One for over 40 years, and even with all its imprecisions, it was still great. I left with a great feeling. I agree 100%. The movie definitely plays a bit fast and loose with what you would get away with. There's like straight up, like, yeah, we're just gonna fuck with other people and like cause accidents, so it'll like delay the race, give us more time to pit and stuff. You would 100% get penalized for that in real life, but they just do it. It's fine. But I had a lot of fun with that movie, and you can absolutely tell it was directed by the same guy who did Top Gun Maverick, because it's kind of the same story. But it's very good. I feel good summer popcorn movie, and I kind of hope it beats the fucking superhero movies at least and makes a shitload of money, because
That
it
would be
deserves
nice.
to. Yeah. Marco Samiro says they killed off Marge Simpson. What the fuck? Have they really though, or is that just like a
That doesn't sound
season
real,
finale?
but
Yeah,
let me have a look.
I don't believe that they've actually permanently killed her.
I mean, you know, the voice actress was getting on like crazy, but I just would have thought they'd replace her, not kill Marge.
They are all getting pretty rough at this point.
Okay, well, but what I mean is that if you've watched any new episode, they all sound older, but Marge sounds like she's dying. And it's kind of awkward.
She's had to do this thing with her voice for the past like 40 years. Homer! Dragon Balls D says 28 years later, the alpha zombies remind me of the tripods in War of the Worlds. They both have 3 legs. Yep, they're impressive. Imperial Fist Satan says, a villain as important and, dare I say, iconic as Mephisto being introduced in a show like Ironheart is a travesty. Marvel is a complete mess. Not a word of a lie there either. La Parka, couldn't they have at least gotten a better looking actress to play Riri? This actress looks like a dude. Well, I mean, they're stuck with her because like she was introduced in Wakanda Forever, so it's what you got to work with. I'm more concerned about the fact that she can't really act. The best she can do is a frowny face.
I have just because I was looking to find out. So apparently it is essentially clickbait, and the producers have said they're annoyed about it. Because I guess it's some kind of like future Flash or alternate Flash or something of how she may or may not die.
Oh, who gives a fuck then?
Well, yeah, I don't think the broad part is that it doesn't actually, because you know what I'm interested in is whether or not they're actually just going to kill her to move it. Like it would be such a radical thing for Simpsons to do, considering it's such a slop factory now of just get episodes going.
I think it'd be difficult to do that though, like when it's a central character like that. I can see why they killed off like Maud Flanders back in the day.
Well,
I think
that
partly
was
because the voice actress was doing like basically that one character and nothing else.
yeah, and there was like disagreements and shit behind the scenes, right? That's why she died.
I think she wanted more money, yeah. And they're like, we've
yeah.
got people who are voicing like 20 characters here, and you're doing one. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Big T says, which did Marvel have more faith in, Ironheart or Echo? Did Echo dump all at once? Is that how that worked? Right. So, but then they didn't delay it by like 3 years. I think they had more faith in Echo, but not by much.
I've heard the counter argument as well too, because I said that like Echo went out all at once while this went out over 2 weeks, so surely they had more faith in Ironheart. It's like, well, no, they might have just been hoping to spread it a bit out so it might get better results, because they don't know if 6 at once or 3 week is gonna, broadly give you better results on view counts or not. Doesn't really tell you anything, but I'd say what you just said, the fact they delayed it for fucking ages is an indication.
Besney Lala says, hi, nice to see you, Metal. I'm rewatching old EFAPs. The one about Batwoman's were epic. Bless you, long man.
Well, thank you. And yeah, more on the way,
Yeah. Flavored Insecticide says, and to think that not too long ago, the worst Marvel TV show was Inhumans. I'd rather rewatch that over Ironheart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, Ironheart's just, not only is it shit, but it's just really mean-spirited, and it has fucking no moral compass whatsoever. It's like it glorifies everyone being complete arseholes. And we're supposed to identify with that. I'm not getting it. I'm really not.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, I've got 3 more episodes to get through, so yay. John Doe, Mauler, thank you for recommending Buffy and Angel. Just finished the last season. Wesley's ending hit me hard. The journey this man had was something else. By the way, Angel and Spike versus the Immortal was funny as fuck.
I did show Drinker a clip or 2 of that season. It is something that I think you should see no matter what. Angel season 5. The only problem is it doesn't work as well without seeing fucking everything else before it. So, but yes, also on that note of Wesley, he is like my favorite character of all time. It is fucking brilliant stuff. So nice.
William Holmes, a donation for Chris saying shite. It is strange when Americans say stuff like that, or like taking the piss. It's like you guys can't say that. That's not in your vernacular. You're just culturally appropriating.
We can even get away with saying a lot of Americanisms more so than they can get away with saying British stuff like wanker. It's like, ugh.
Yeah,
never say that again.
Don't ever do that again. Yeah, Americanisms have just been ported worldwide. Like they're kind of the de facto culture for the world, really. So yeah, it's a lot easier to hijack their sayings. Escape the Prison Colony says, with Ironheart, did anyone else just hear Garth from Wayne's World stabbing the donut? Ree. There you go. Jennifer Grasso, Iron Shark sounds worse than the Echo Shite. It's tough. That is
Tough one.
Stiff competition for which is worse. Because I think there's strong arguments to be made either way on this one.
Yeah.
And I would listen to them. Jimber Jamber says, did Riri have a jar of rubbers on her counter? I mean, that was, yeah. that was next level. That was Robin in the Hood, wasn't it? Or Robin Hood.
God. Yeah.
Fucking hell. Imperial Fist Stan, did you guys see the Superman clip that they just dropped? Is that the one where he bursts into the room and he's screaming at Lex Luthor?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Every time we see more from this movie, I think our enthusiasm drops just a little bit.
Sorry, I just saw that. So there's a review of Jurassic Park, or Jurassic World Rebirth. It says it's the worst Jurassic Park movie yet. A flat, emotionless retread of familiar ideas, no sense of theme, scale, danger, or awe. They were preoccupied with whether or not they could. They didn't stop to think if they should. The classic. And someone quote tweeted that with a picture of the architect from The Matrix, and it says, "This will be the 6th time we have created the worst Jurassic Park sequel, and it has become exceedingly efficient."
That's pretty good.
It's so true, because I've been doing a rewatch. I really don't like The Lost World, and Jurassic Park 3 is pretty bad as well. But obviously they're dwarfed by how bad the next generation is. And then this is going to be apparently abysmal. Everyone has said this one's awful. So
yeah,
it's going great.
Well, looking forward to watching it this week and doing a review.
Yeah.
We'll be able to cover it on Open Bar, I think, because it's like Wednesday it comes out. So
beautiful.
We got that to look forward to. Yay. What's the next one? The Imperial Brick. The 6-part format is just an overextended movie. Could well be. I don't really want to see an Ironheart movie, but yeah. Steel Manning. Hey, Greg, Central IL represents. The state sucks sadly, but you and your family are a bright spot in the suckhole that is Pritzker State. Is that Illinois? I guess Central Illinois. I don't know the American states, but IL, it's got to be
Illinois.
Sure. Robert Barassa says, "Hi, drinker and gents." Oh yeah, this was the one about the entertainment industry being at a cultural dead end. Funny, actually, I clipped that because I thought it was quite an interesting discussion, and it got a lot of traction, like way more than I expected. I think everyone agrees. We're fucked.
Yeah, there's a feeling, and it is amusing because you still get those people who are like, "Oh, actually, it's no less bad or good than it's ever been." This is like, yeah, no, it's definitely worse than it's been.
Yeah. Dr. Pelican, safe to say Marvel's profits this year aren't exactly twitting Feige's tipples. Looking forward to Fantastic Four. Hope it's just as transparently bad. I think it seems to be. It's shaping up that way anyway. Ironheart smoke detector. Ooh, I'm basically a normie, and I've got to say, all of Hollywood and their franchises are dead. Fuck Fantastic Four, Superman, and any other gay shit being made. I have no desire to go to theaters anymore, and I don't see this changing. I recommended F1. I think that's worth seeing. And it's an original movie. It's an original story. It's not a fucking remake of anything. It can still be done. And if anything, just try and encourage movies like that and don't watch the slop. Derek says, I'm cautiously optimistic about Mortal Kombat 2. I think Carl Urban as Johnny Cage is a great choice, and I read that it's getting good reactions in test screenings.
There's a very easy job they have to do, and that is have fun. Mortal Kombat does not need to be very serious. They got pieces of it right in the first attempt of the crazy remake.
I liked it. Yeah, I liked it.
Like Kano was top notch. A couple of other guys doing what they're supposed to be doing, which is crazy over the top performances, messing around in this universe, and then hyper violence that's bordering on hilarious. That's the key. Just get that done. And the protagonist sucked balls. I assume he's back in the new one, but having Carl Urban play Johnny Cage is that's an inspired choice. Let him be the protagonist, please.
Let the man cook.
Yes.
Johnny Allstar says, so going out on a limb, vodka talking, would you be willing to go on Louder with Crowder and talk some movies and politics? Lots of people want this. So I hate to break it to you guys, but I've got no interest in talking politics on anything like that. So yeah, I'm probably not your guy for that one. Kashakus says, watch the new clip of Soups confronting Lex, and Superman just came off as emotionally weak and easily manipulated. Gunn must hate a strong Superman. I mean, that combined with his little interview that he did with Lois Lane, where he immediately loses his cool and starts yelling, like, I had to do something. It's like, this doesn't really convey Superman vibes. I don't want him to be
what I would have chosen to market with.
Yeah. Sebastian Howard says, damn, your hair's looking good, drinker. Giga chat. See, there you go. Often mocked floppy hair, my arse. Or my arse hair. I don't know. It depends what way you want to look at it. John says, this stream will be dismissed as a bunch of white guys crashing out. SMH, but hold the lines, fellas. Even us minorities see through this garbage. Oh, that's okay. I mean, I think everyone's pretty much seen Ironheart for being shit. I don't think that's a controversial opinion.
Changed. Everyone calls everyone racist for everything anyway. Oh, well.
It's just the way of the world now. Brendan, the love of my life, says, what do you lovely people think of Band of Brothers? I mean, it's excellent. Like, what could I say apart from that? You know, it's a universally acclaimed show. Yura's BFF says, have you all heard of Eric Debunks? The guy attempts to debunk Critical Drinker, Nerdrotic, as Eric July, etc. It's quite funny to see the embodiment of the SJW whiny modern audience. I have never even heard of that guy. Have you?
No,
Eric Debunks.
I might have come across it, but it doesn't remind me of anything.
Yeah. Name Taken says, has anyone pointed out that Riri is a literal pejorative for a not-so-bright person? I.e., come on, you freaking Riri, were you born with an extra chromosome or something? I've never heard that. I don't know if that's an Americanism. I guess it's meant to be short for retard, so yeah. Are you a bit of a Riri? Your name is an adverb says 1948 movies: The Naked City, Red River, Rope, Fort Apache. A few movies to view and get the taste of Ironheart out of your mouth. I mean, honestly, Bleach would do in this case.
Yeah.
Daniel Collins says, Chris, did you reclaim your soul after Ironheart? I mean, maybe his soul, but not his sanity. I think that's gone now. Clan McEwen Society says, hail, just returned from a 2-week drive around Europe from Scotland and played so much open bar in my car that my wife is now a fan. I love that. Just through sheer like repetition, she's like developed Stockholm syndrome or something. Now she likes us. She's watching live with me tonight for the first time. Shout out to Mrs. McEwen, please. Okay. There you go. Well, Mrs. McEwen, I hope you enjoyed it on the night. Appreciate it. Elizabeth Young, watch The Rocketeer to get the awful stank of this show out of your minds. The Rocketeer is a lovely movie.
Mm-hmm.
And Jennifer Connelly is lovely in The Rocketeer. So
she's always lovely.
Yeah. Ironheart smoke detector just says, chirp.
All right.
I don't know what you're saying, man. I can't hear a thing. Archer Merchant says, only way to salvage the franchise, Luke and Indiana Jones get the time and reality stones and group bitch slap KK, Leslie Headland, Feige, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge. I'd be up for watching that. Let's get an AI to produce it. Zathrin says, Drinker and Bar, have you ever seen Flight of the Navigator? It's an old sci-fi film for the 70s. No, it's not. It's the 80s. I know it's not a 10 out of 10 movie, but it's in my top 5 films. Any thoughts on it? And if you've seen it? I've seen it. It's a very 80s movie. So, kid discovers a crashed UFO. I don't know, fucking he goes missing or something. And then when he like reappears, it's like 8 years later. So his parents thought he was dead and like everyone's kind of moved on without him. And then he like hijacks the ship again and goes on a little wacky adventure with it to try and get back to his own time. So it's neat. It's quite fun. I think the alien spaceship, it's got like a kind of robotic pilot and it's got like a pretty neat little personality. So that was a fun movie. So yeah, it's fun. Doofenschmerz says, have any of you seen the video of the comic scene where Doctor Doom rips out Thanos' heart? That's how Doomsday should open. I have not seen that, I'm afraid, but that's a pretty good intro.
Yeah.
OMG puppies. To portray a genius, the writers and the actor need to be intelligent. To portray a hero, the writers must not have narcissistic personality disorder. Well, there's the problem. Deval says, Mauler, Batwoman, or Ironheart? Which do you prefer? Also, for the whole panel, what bad movie or show is carried or made passable by an amazing character or actor? Not allowed to say Mr. Freeze, Mauler.
You know, well, I guess there's two questions, but upon rewatching The Lost World, I found myself kind of annoyed with all the characters except one. Do you know who it is?
The guy who like tries to rescue them when they're like hanging off a cliff or something and like gets eaten by the T-Rex.
So he's a given because that death fucking pissed me off even more this time around. All his scenes are just him being friendly, supportive, and like constructive and pragmatic. They have several moments where he appreciates like dinosaurs for what they are. There's a moment where Julianne Moore like pisses them off and they're all running around it, and Ian Malcolm's like, "Hey, you know, did Eddie shoot them?" And he's like, "They're just protecting their kids." Like he doesn't want to. Mm-hmm. And then they show him like really sad when he sees all the hunters have moved in and they're getting all the dinosaurs. And then they have this fucking extended 10-minute sequence of him doing everything he can to save people's lives, and then he gets one of the most gruesome deaths in all of Jurassic Park. It's like, damn, I hate them for that, and I will never not like them for that. And it might make me angry enough that I'll make like a top 10 most unjustified deaths in film just to put him at number 1.
Jurassic Park movies have got a bit of a pedigree for that, though, haven't they?
Yes, they do. Every one of them has a really weird death in it, except for the first one, unless you count Samuel Jackson. But I mean, you know, the whole point of that is that he went out there without realizing the raptors were going to get him, and then Muldoon gets fucked up by him as well. The first movie is perfect. Anyway, what I was going to say is it was actually excluding Eddie because he's like a given. There's one of the characters.
Pete Postlethwaite's character. I can't remember what he's called.
Look at you, 100% with these guesses. But yes, he's actually pretty solid throughout the whole movie.
And he just makes a really smart decision where he's like, yeah, I'm just noping out of this now. It's like he's caught his T-Rex and he's just done. He doesn't want to do it anymore.
Super reasonable, motivated, completes his arc, and even gets to shout some sense into some of the stupider characters in the movie, to the point where one of the good guys are like, why are you with the bad guys? You're like intelligent.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. And just a great performance as well. It's neat seeing Pete Postlethwaite often plays more, how do I put it, like weak characters or struggling to catch up with the main characters. And as the hunter, he got to be like a dominating force, which he can do pretty easily. Mm-hmm. Obviously, taken too soon. Always enjoy him in everything he's in.
Absolutely. Ed Song says, Muller and Metal, when will you two review Emilia Perez or Xander Hall 2 Financial Disaster? The rent is due. It's also fine as well.
I don't know when, but that'd be something I'd have to ask Nick DiOrio's advice on, the Xander Hall losing everything again. I don't know.
Western Paradigm says, a not well-known fact about blacks in America is that most still live in the deep south and are hardworking, respectable folk. Black culture we're commonly exposed to is misfortunate and damaging. Well, I blame Hollywood for that a lot of the time. Yeah, and we've talked about this before. Like, if you're trying to upend the stereotypes that have been portrayed before on movies and TV shows, having your mostly black cast be involved in criminal activities throughout your series is probably not the best way to go about it. So, yeah, not a great standard they've set for themselves there in Marvel. Jay Fraser says, "Hail gents, congrats Mauler on all good things, or all in good time." Sorry,
Close enough.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that with the Star Trek episode. Jeremy Borage says, "Finally watched Andor season 2 with my son. The late episodes are fantastic, but the early episodes are uninspired. Could it be due to studio interference? Too bad this great show stumbled out of the gate." Yeah, I'm still scratching my head about the first block of 3 episodes for season 2. It's a bit of a weird one.
From what I gather, they were made last, so there's probably something wacky going on with them, because it kind of, knowing that kind of makes sense, like, because the rest of the episodes all follow along while the first 3 feel a little bit more stapled on.
Yes,
not that they provide nothing. All the Krennic stuff and the Gorman setup is all there. It's just the Rebel stuff and how isolated the Chandrilla stuff is. It's just like, I wonder what the process was there.
Yeah. Joseph says, "Mark Miller has been very optimistic about Gunn's Superman on open bar. I'll side with Mark Miller until shown differently." I mean, sure. I mean, it's good that he's optimistic about it. I'm a little bit more pessimistic, but we'll find out soon enough. So, Jacob Jass says, "Mauler, what are your thoughts on EFAP being used as a reference in Ethan Klein's lawsuits?"
Good references. Okay, we were thorough, and we got access to a video that no longer exists. I think that's why it's cited. So, you gotta get that thorough case in there. It'll be curious to see how all that turns out, because it often feels like whenever someone sues anybody in the YouTube world that it doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Green Day says, "Here's some money, lads." Thank you very much. Dennis Kiergaard says, "Did you see the Brightburn movie? I know it's not a real Superman movie. Batman versus Superman shows the same idea that someone that powerful can't be trusted." So, yeah, Brightburn.
Yes.
It's an interesting one. I think one of the best comments I saw with this was like, it did straight up reference Batman versus Superman, and they were just saying like, yeah, that moment where Bruce Wayne's talking about the 1 in 100 chance. Well, this is what happens during that 1 in 100. When you've got this unstoppable force that basically
I didn't
turns
think
evil.
they did that much with it. He is just a psycho who then kills everybody. It's like, okay,
Yeah, but it looks cool. Jacob Wolf says, "Was Penguin released too late or too early for DC?"
too late or too early in what way? Sorry.
So if it was too early, were people just not ready for it? Did they not expect it to be as good as it was? Or if it was too late, is it just like too little too late to like help DC to turn things around? Because I think you'd probably, as much as we quite enjoyed the show, I think we could probably argue it's not really moved the needle in any meaningful way for DC in terms of their public perception.
No. I guess even the best version, it's just like, was it ever gonna? It's like, probably not, I guess.
Yeah. Captain Falco says, "Hey, me and my friends watched The People versus George Lucas and were surprised that Chris Gore was in it. Cheers from EFAP fan." I mean, Chris Gore was hosting it, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It's been a while.
Yeah, so it was on his channel. Because I was the prosecution at one point.
I thought they meant The People versus George Lucas is like a really old sort of docudrama-y thing made after the prequels happened.
I'm thinking of the series that they did on his channel.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure they're talking
They just
about
parodied it.
Well, it's just using the title, I guess. But like the People versus George Lucas, I think, is like a collection of analysis and sort of excerpts and interviews from people about just how much the prequels has destroyed Star Wars.
Right.
I think.
Right.
It's been a while.
Victory Rabbit says, question for Chris. Did you see Clownfish TV or Jeremy Jan's review of Elio, given that both channels have been consistent, honest brokers regarding the decaying state of modern Disney? I don't know. Have you watched their reviews of it at all?
No, and I haven't seen Elio either. It's going to be forgotten by history, so I don't see the need to care about it.
Yeah, it seems like it's heading that way. Jay Fraser says, question regarding the contest. I'm aware the page limit is 10, but my script is likely going to be 12 pages. Is this acceptable, or do I have to cut? I think we can let it slide. If it's 12 pages, we'll take a look. I'm sure there's going to be ways to trim it down or whatever. When it, if you win and we go to make it, I'm sure we can make it work. Imperial Fist Stan says, well, what is the new Lord of the Rings or Harry Potter? Game of Thrones. I don't get it.
I guess we don't have a new one of all of them yet.
Give it time. John says, Drinker, the culture is based on social equity. Whatever gets you the most clicks does not translate to captivating and engaging stories, just engaging social media content. I mean, I think that's part of it, which is really fucking sad, but there we are. That's the culture we've created for ourselves. Sharpsticks says, hola, Drinker and panel. To your point, Drinker, how have they not had the X-Files investigating the X-Men? This is a no-brainer if you insist on using the multi-mashup. I mean, sure, I think makes sense. It would be a pretty good... it would actually be quite interesting to see Mulder and Scully and their take on the X-Men. Like, how do you even rationalize that in a supposedly real world? Nelson Chirita says, John Wick, Megan, Sinners original stories do exist. Sure. I mean, John Wick got franchised into oblivion. They're doing the same thing with Mithrigan, and apparently that's tanking at the box office.
The air of what was behind that statement is like, there's our original stories. Like, fucking hell. The fourth John Wick, that as far as I'm concerned, was dead on arrival with 2, and Mithrigan, which is basically a joke of a horror film.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, we're just swimming in great, higher budget original films, aren't we?
Well, that's the thing, isn't
Sinners, that's a different conversation.
Yeah, but then it's just like one movie. If you take it like that, because like John Wick franchise, Mithrigan had a sequel and is not doing well. So Sinners is the only original one there, and it's one film in like a big ocean.
Right. Every once in a while, when any of us have a sort of rant or ramble about the state of how everything has gotten so much worse, you'll get a comment every once in a while that's like, yeah, you wouldn't feel this way if you didn't keep watching slop. It's like, the fact that you have no self-awareness enough to see that once upon a time, the slop, the high budget, the studio shit was like broadly okay, and then sometimes fucking great. Jurassic Park is a blockbuster. It's like it is the modern version is slop, but when that came out, it's one of the greatest movies of all time. We don't do that anymore. It's fucking sad.
Well, as well, like I do not agree one bit with this. You're just choosing to focus on like the negative things, or you're just going after the big budget blockbuster movies instead of going to your local film festival and fucking talking about a movie that no one's ever going to see. Like, it doesn't work like that. That's like going to a news organization and say, oh, why are you reporting on these wars and stuff that are going on when like this fucking cat, rode a unicycle the other day? It's like, I don't care. We review the things and we report on the things that are actually important and relevant.
The point I always end up making to people is like, this is the most eye-catching stories being told. It's super important for culture. It tells you everything about where everyone's going, thinking about, spending their time with. It's like, yeah, of course, there's always going to be good stories out there in whatever medium, but currently, like, when you take the magnifying glass to what is the highest budget, biggest industry stories being told in our day and age, they're fucking bad.
Yeah. Bosks says, have any of you read C.S. Lewis on stories? I'm still going through it, but it's him exploring the purpose of stories and where their value comes from. Highly recommended so far. Thank you very much. The Rad Dad Realtor says, the Fat Electrician did an awesome video on the Berlin airlift. Hail to the panel. Love listening to the bar. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Jacob Wolf says, I was also excited for Mangold directing Indy. Yeah, look how that one turned out. Sir Cheese says, Black James Bond, fine, let's get a white shaft. Yeah, see how that one works. Internet Peasant said, laid up due to a broken bone and severed artery in my foot. Jesus, what you've done to yourself.
Damn.
Thanks for keeping me entertained, and have a drink for me on Workman's Comp. Yeah, man. Well, get well soon. And
Absolutely.
yeah.
Don't sever your arteries, people. Need those.
Bad. That tends to go badly. Shadowcat says there are popular indie animated shows on YouTube. Well, that's nice. That's good. Shaker Silver says, on sludgification of media, I like that word. Feels like every film or game studio is looking to appeal to everyone and cram in everything to make the next big thing because they have to compete with the past via video on demand. Yeah, they kind of are. I mean, we've talked about this before. It's like everything's become kind of homogenized because everyone wants to appeal to the broadest possible audience instead of just saying, yeah, this is my target demographic. I'm going to make something that's quite specific to them, but they're going to fucking love it.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's budget's a problem, isn't it? Like when you've got a $200 million movie, you need to rake in a lot of money to make bank on it.
Speaking of rake, Tyler Rake in Extraction, they're making a third one, right? And it's like those films will not be profitable the second that budget inflates far enough. That's what's going to happen inevitably. Because they always fuck that up.
That was a neat segue, by the way. I am in awe of your linguistic skills on that one. God. But yeah, you're exactly right. I mean, the first one worked because it wasn't done on a huge budget, but it was impressive. It was fun, and it didn't take itself, too seriously. It's just like a non-stop action thrill ride. Perfect.
Yeah.
But yeah, the budget will creep up, and it'll price itself out of its own market.
Yeah, and the conclusion will be like, I guess people don't care about this. Well, it's like, no, you destroyed it. This is what you do.
Amiable Antillian says, sounds like James Gunn should have done Ironheart. Asshole with a good redemption arc. He's really good at redemption arcs. Indeed. B-Chain says, super behind, but the inventor of the Polaroid camera went to my high school. The library was named for him. Pretty neat. That is neat indeed.
John Polaroid.
Sorry. Jay Fraser says, since using ChatGPT to help with my writing, I've been more creative in recent months because it's good for feedback and critique, suggestions, and uncovering plot holes, including my script for the contest. Neat, but I mean, oof. That is a terrifying world where you're taking critique from an AI. Like, damn. Vampire Lord says, a little off topic, but have you heard of the Stop Killing Games initiative? It's trying to make it so that you own the games you buy. That'd be nice.
All I've heard about it is how Pirate Software tried to destroy its reputation, and it's had significant repercussions on both Stop Killing Games as a movement and his reputation, which has already been slashed down several times because of his different controversies. He's a fascinating fella, that Pirate Software guy.
Right. I do not know much about him, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
John Constantine says, creativity isn't dead, it just takes talent and skill. The Eye of Aldani from Andor is amazing modern-day spectacle.
I mean, I loved it. Not everybody loved it, though. They're talking about the heist episode, if you remember.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm just like, what is there not to like? It's quite a nice, well-executed heist, and it's got some very pretty visuals, and they've even got a little bit of just local culture that's thrown in there, just to give you a bit of world building. Mark Daly says, automatic MCU review generator. Insert title here is an average Marvel show. Worse than the last one, but better than the next one. The Rad Dad Realtor. Togo is the true story of Balto. Good movie. All right. Yeah, Spartan says there's a fat electrician video about Togo. Why do I not know about the fat electrician? I don't get it. Jay Fraser says, Mauler, what are your thoughts on the Sarah Connor Chronicles?
Never watched it beyond one episode, and I got put off. But I've heard good things. Somewhat.
Well, World says, how do you think Amazon will handle the Warhammer IP? Just the prologue is 60 books long, and the setting is very racist, fascist, and horrible for modern audiences. I've got very little faith in their ability to do this and do it justice. It's got Henry Cavill behind it, but man, as we've seen from The Witcher, there's only so much he can do with the best of intentions.
Yeah.
And Grant says, who do you want to direct a Bond film? Guy Ritchie? I don't think he would have been my choice. I think Nolan was like a frequently cited name.
I'm not sure who the fuck I would choose, honestly. If I was forced by gunpoint, it's like, would I pick Nolan or who would I prefer to Nolan and Ritchie? It's like, who else is there?
I mean, would you want Stahelski? You know, who did the John Wick movies?
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I would probably have to go director hunting for a while and see what works. Because even in the back of my head, I was like, what about Edgar Wright? It's like probably not 100% suited for Bond, but maybe if he was put into a position where he like cared about it and wanted to replicate, because he's a very fun director. It's just maybe a little too fun for Bond. I don't know. But he could also be like the kind of thing where Bond slightly evolves every era, and that he could give it a pizzazz maybe, while also, because you need someone British directing. They need to be familiar with Bond, and they need to care about Bond.
Danny Boyle?
Not impossible, like in terms of what you could come up with. It's just, I don't know. This is what I mean. This would be like if I was, if I actually had to make the decision, I'd be thinking about this for fucking weeks. Like, gotta be careful.
Indeed.
Probably would not pick Villeneuve though.
No, he's not a name I would associate with Bond, but well, a lot of it's going to hinge on who writes it and ultimately who they cast, but that's a conversation for another day, I guess. But that other day will have to wait, because that is the last of our super chats right there.
My God.
So I want to say, as always, thank you guys for sending those through. And sorry we couldn't do them all in the night, but we've done our best to catch up here. So very much appreciate it. And you know what? Mauler and I are pumped, because on the next open bar, we're going to be talking about Ironheart and the new Jurassic World movie. So, I mean, what's not to like? Truly. It'll be an open bar of all time.
Yay.
And on that bombshell, we're going to end it. So, go away now.
Bye.